They'll discover it on the side of almost each high school chemical lab in the earth. And generations of family include sung the speech, hydrogen gas and helium gas, Li, beryllium. In and try to remember several of the 118 beginnings. The year, the periodical spreadsheet of chemistry beginnings celebrates its 150th date of birth. As the candles on the pie are illuminated, it's period to testing your expertise, in our quiz show. In March, it will be 150 year with the Ruski scholar, Dmitry Mendeleev, took all of the named beginnings and organized them in a spreadsheet. Largest of his ideas include stood the testing of period, in spite creature planned length up we knew lot on the material how makes up question. Dr. Peter Wuthers of the College of Cambridge is an specialist on the object. He thinks if aliens came downward to land, the banner of scientific would not include escape their focus. Would an foreigner include a periodical spreadsheet, he says. I believe they perhaps would, since it is thing how is completely basic, the is not fair several create of humans, down there is thing congenital and basic to the, down there's chemistry act, natural law over the laws of chemical Mendeleev, 1834 to 1907, created his previous periodical spreadsheet in 1869. He took the 63 named beginnings and organized them in a spreadsheet, mostly by their nuclear massive. Though he wasn't the at first to do his explanation implicated a jump of inventiveness, in how he put such and such properties under every sum in groups and leftward gaps for new beginnings to be slotted in. Human beings had been making how for several period, but eventually down there was several nature base, or several law, how intended they necessary to be organized in several path, says Dr. Wuthers. 150 year on, down there include been basic shifts in our insight of question. Apparently Mendeleev at the period knew anything on the sub-nuclear pattern of the atomic, so he was departure on just the nuclear weights, that weren't definitely established to the order precision at the period, says Dr. Wuthers. Following the opening of protons, scientists implemented how the nuclear quantity of an item is the identical as the quantity of protons in its kernel. Therefore, in the contemporary periodical spreadsheet, the beginnings are organized on to their nuclear quantity, not their family member nuclear massive. We now aware the how it plant, why it plant, and the is to do in quantized mechanical and the institutional arrangement of electrons in atoms and so at, he says. Down there are now more than rather than 100 beginnings, laid down out in procedure of growing nuclear quantity. Down there are echoing patterns in the properties of the beginnings, that offer the periodical spreadsheet its behalf. Beginnings in such properties are organized to shape columns, groups, of that down there are now 7. The periodical spreadsheet is now a item of both of beautiful and pragmatic utilize, says Dr. Wuthers. Thou can know specific things fair by examining the location of an item in the spreadsheet, or in the location, how's why it's so helpful to chemists. The year, that has been nominated the World Year of the Periodical Spreadsheet, may as well present its blossoming. Now, the 7th time of the periodical spreadsheet has been finished, in the latter supplement of 4 persons beginnings in December 2015. The has done it rather entire and nice, he says. At the time, the really year, I believe we are really privileged, since the periodical spreadsheet is in its largest ultimate shape, says Dr. Wuthers, or perhaps the largest ultimate shape it will always be to. Human beings are now work on synthesizing more severe beginnings, or, if they supervise the problem, the periodical spreadsheet will changing yet once again. As quickly as fair one more than is found, later we'll include to begin a row, the 8th time, he says. Or later it will miss several of its beautiful, since the 8th time will never be finished I believe it's equitable to tell.